How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the next episode of our Towns Let's Play. Things have been going fairly well here in the township of Boo. You can see that I've made some minor alterations to the front of our tavern here. So without further ado, let's talk about some of the new things that have occurred here since the last time that you had time to visit. So let's start from the bottom. We'll go from the bottom and we'll move our way to the top. I think that's probably the most efficient way to run through this whole thing. I mean, we could start with the top and go back down to the bottom, but then we would just be uncivilized. And without civilization, where would we be? So, here in this minor storehouse, or in our kitchen, above our kitchen anyways, we're putting a roof on right here. I haven't necessarily gotten around to putting in the decorations that are going to go in this little awning area, but we are putting a green roof on here, and things are going fairly well. There was a minor patch, I think, at some point. I don't think it really added anything, but I noticed that it basically undid all of my presets, so essentially, all of the containers that I had set up had been reset and things like that, so there is a little bit of cleanup work to be done. Like right here, you can see that there's barrels that they're just throwing like all kinds of crazy stuff in. Who knows what actually decided what's going to go in these barrels. But we are putting a roof on over here, so it's looking a little bit better. We haven't gotten around to building anything over here, but what you will notice, if you take a look around, is that every single citizen now has, ta-da, armor and weapons. And that's going to be really valuable in the times to come, because the sieges, one thing that I figured out with that last siege, it didn't actually kill off any townies, but the situation that it left us in is that we very much needed to arm ourselves. And so, just looking here, I ran down into the dungeon, got all the armor. I actually put the production of iron armor up to 5 pieces at a time and just slowly equipped everybody in between the episodes. Now, let me throw a save in right there. Down here in the dungeon, we haven't done a whole lot lately, so let me take a look and see if they're done with all the work that I've queued up over here. They are indeed. They've almost mined out the entire -2, but I think it may be almost time. Let's see here. Let me find my spirally... Okay, I can't find... I'm lost! I'm lost and I'm blind. Alright, we're gonna creep down this way. And that's gonna leave us what looks like a 4 square right there. So let's start digging down and seeing if we can get into the next little section of dungeon. I don't know if we're gonna make it in this episode because there's not a whole lot of time. Sometimes that's one of the things I've noticed about this kind of broadcasting, or this kind of narration, is that you never have the time that you wish you had. You're always slightly constrained with that respect, so hopefully they get at least it partially done before we go any further into the game. I'm gonna take a look and let's find the confines of everything. There we go, there's the confines of that. So what we'll do is take this over. Let's see, the best way to do this that I've noticed is just to pause. There we go, all paused up, and then it's that spot right there. I'm trying to keep an eye on it, and I lost it. Unfortunately, my eye is not so good. That is one of the senses that I should probably never rely on. There we go. And so we'll drag this over, and that's how we're gonna do it. That's how we'll keep a straight line, keep everything nice, as we'll go over like so. And actually, is that gonna dig out that floor? It is, unfortunately. So hold on. I think this is why I put a break on this whole thing to begin with, is because I think I lost track of where I was working towards. It's okay though. We'll go like this. We'll just dig that over kind of haphazardly. There we go. And then we'll start the game back up, and let's talk about the tavern. So the tavern is going to need this wood outline all throughout it. I've actually got to break down walls and punch some holes in and actually get this laid out. I've got to redo this entire layer in wood right here. Haven't quite gotten around to it yet. I would like to though, however, so let's speed up the gameplay a tad so that things are getting done at a rate that we'd like. I also need to go through here and put in all of the woodwork as well. So let's click off some of these, remove this stone, and then we'll start putting in the wood etching that we'd like to have to make everything kind of... What I've noticed is that if we don't put in the wood etching, or you don't put some kind of contouring in on the corners, it makes everything look like a big nasty mass of just stone, basically. And what I was taking a look, you know, at buildings outside and things of that nature, and one thing that I had to come to grips with is that buildings are not necessarily like that. They don't always look that the way, they don't really look the way that you would expect them to. So I'm going to go back and we're going to try and get all of this relayed out. And while we're waiting on them to place those, I hope it's not too boring, but I am just going to right click, left click, left click. No! Don't deploy the farts! They come in here guns blazing, just machine gunning the walls, if they had machine guns. So basically they'd probably run in and just start clinking away at the walls with swords like idiots. But let's take that right there. And it's very difficult to see where the confines of my walls are, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm not messing up anything here. We'll try and get that right there. And I believe I just built a bunch of barrels, so we may not have the wood supplies that we would otherwise like, but we probably have just enough wood to get by, which is better than no wood at all. So let's see. We'll put that line in right there, and then we'll finish off with that line right there. And let's make sure that there's not too many jobs going on, because I do feel like they're not accomplishing things at the rate that I would like. The roof is going to look splendid. It's kind of that neon Toxic Avenger green. Just blind anybody. If we ever get attacked by planes, this is going to be the decoy building. It's just like, blind them now! Pilot's going to just dive bomb into the field, wipe out our wheat, and then never again shall we eat a sandwich in the township of Boo, unfortunately. Let's see. God, place my roof faster. My guess is that it's probably being bottlenecked by the fact that we don't have enough green dyes. I think I have green dyes set up. Let's see here. I always forget where dyes are hidden. They're hidden in here somewhere. I always have to, like, it always takes me 3 or 4 tries just to find dyes on any of these menus. And maybe it's in Vanity? Yeah, it's in Vanity. That's what it is. So here's the colors. Oh, I'm supposed to have 30 green dyes on hand. Okay, so maybe we used up all 30, and that's just the big problem there. How many are these actually using? It's been a while since I've looked. 2 stone and a green color. Okay, so that's not so bad. We've got ourselves what looks like a desert merchant here. Let's take a look and see what he's got. I would loathe to have to haul too many things to the merchant at the moment, but I suppose we can get rid of all this excess wood gear that we're no longer going to be using, and let's pan through and see if he's got anything useful for us. Unfortunately, these merchants seem very, very useless by comparison to a lot of the other merchants. They do on occasion have like some of the simple things like doors, and we are going to take those, I suppose. And let's trade it. And I actually forgot where the trade button was for a second there. Just a major, not even just a brain fart. You can't really call it like brain diarrhea either, because that means I'd be like overflowing at the brain with ideas. But, well, expunging ideas, just squirting ideas everywhere. I'm disgusting myself right now, but that wouldn't even count as a brain fart if I can't remember to use a simple button like that. That would probably be more along the lines of just, I don't know, probably just an aneurysm, just fall over, screeching to my death. And I wouldn't even know. I'd be playing towns 1 second. How'd you like to go out like that, dying playing towns? It wouldn't be so bad. I could think of worse ways to go out, so it is what it is. They're going to place... I don't really know if I want to start doing the etching over here just yet. Or not the etching, but the edging, I guess would be the proper word that I would want to use for that task. But I don't really know... Let me check my stocks real fast. Let me make sure the stocks are where I want them to be. It looks like we've got enough coal, and it looks like they've burned through a large proportion of the stone already. Nobody's even chopping the trees, so I guess that works out okay. As long as we have trees growing and they're not just dead everywhere, there are some logs laying around, so it's probably just mostly this roof needing to get done. And so once that finishes up, I think we should be pretty good. Yeah, they've pretty much wiped out our entire field over here. It looks like we've got more than enough materials to make green, because blue and yellow makes green for those of us here that didn't pass kindergarten. I also, a while back, ordered an ogrite breastplate from a merchant that came by. It was actually the first time I've ever seen a merchant come by with actually like insane items before that were actually super good. And so I felt obliged to buy it, but I can't find it anywhere, so I'm not completely sure what happened. Maybe one of these, yeah, these guys picked it up. They saw it on the ground and they pounced on it, so good luck ever getting rid of some of these heroes. God, they're going to be indestructible. Let's go see if we can make some more rooms. I was kind of debating putting in another retaining wall right here and then making a few more rooms just so we could have more heroes. Now, we don't have enough townies. I don't think we actually have enough citizens to really get anything super cool done. But for the time being, actually we can do it over here in this big building. I was planning on turning this into a greater tavern-like area, and I still kind of want to do that. So let's see. I guess we can leave a lot of this. Yeah, I think that'll work. What we'll do is we'll go back in and we will take some stone walls here. And I think my stone walls that I've been using, these little pinkie pie ones, these little pinkies, I believe will probably go something like that. That looks about right. That looks almost halfway. And I know somebody will pause that and count it for me. So even if I messed up, it's okay. We'll figure it out in post. We'll figure it out in the future. And I know for a fact that's not halfway like I wanted it to be. So that seems about right there. And then what we'll do is, I think, God, we'll come out like that, and there'll be a little hallway right here. And then I don't really know how many rooms we're going to be able to craft out of this. I'm not too sure. I'd like to get at least 3 or 4 more of those so that all of our basic needs are accounted for with regards to our heroes. So yeah, that'll probably work. We'll just give that one an extra long room right there. We'll go like so over here. There we go. And then there to there. And is that going to be a 3x3? Yeah, that'll work. There we go. And so we've actually got room for the rooms. And then what we'll do is we'll carry this kinda, I guess. I don't really know what to do with the rest of this hallway. We'll put that right there. And one thing that I've learned just through building in games like Minecraft and things like this is if you're not sure, just don't mess with it too much. Don't fiddle too much if you're not sure. So what we'll do is we'll take that one back. I don't think I'm going to have room for a second set of rooms here. I may or may not. Yeah, I don't think I am. So what we'll do is we'll make some extra large rooms down here. These would be like our VIP section for those people that are killing it. For those townies that have recently put out triple platinum records and are willing to spend that extra little bit of money for their comfort. I don't know how many rock stars we have here in Boo, but I would hope we had at least a couple, just so we could stand out from those bastards down the way. All those people in that town over, like, to the west. I guess I'll assume they're to the west. I'll say they're to the west right now because I'm trying to decide on a direction. And so once those blocks are in place, what's dying? Probably just pigs, yeah. Pigs are starving like crazy. Over here, we have major PETA problems. And I'm not talking about PETA problems in the respect of the Hunger Games. I'm talking about PETA problems. People for the ethical treatment of animalia. Or animals, you know, if you wanted to say it the right way, I guess. They're not too happy about our little pig pen over here, but they've got worse things to worry about. I guess they've got, like, major, like, Michael Vick problems. They're busy, like, protesting Pokemon or something. I'm not really sure what they're up to at the moment. And so our roof appears to be done. So let's destroy these scaffolds, and then we'll take a look and make sure that all the work's being done properly over at our tavern, just to make sure. And so looking through over here, well, it looks semi-passable. I don't really know if this is going to work in our favor, but it'll be what it is. Now, taking a look at what I've got going over here, I'm a little conflicted as to how I really want to proceed. Sometimes I get into these building slumps where I'm not really sure how to treat my town and how to move forward. I mean, I don't really know how else to say it other than how to proceed, obviously. I am going to place these blocks right here, and while my townies get that rolling, we'll see here, and I'm going to destroy these brick walls. I don't really know my problem right now. The thing that I'm considering, just so you guys know what page I'm on, the thing that I'm considering is whether I should go up one more layer above this kind of edging that I'm putting on everything. I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out in the long run. It may actually end up looking like our weird camel-y clown house over on the beginning that I still, to this day, regret building. It was a fun project, though. We spent a couple episodes on it, so I can't regret it too much. Now, let's see what this is going to look like once we place all this. We are going to have to chop some trees, do a little bit of deforestation as always. That seems to be one of the crazy side effects of all the gaming that I do, is in a lot of the games, it seems like I spend a lot of my time destroying buildings. Buildings don't have a good track record in my general vicinity. Now, let's place some doors right here because we did get a nice little trio of doors from the vendor or from the merchant, so we'll put those in right there and hopefully those will look nice. And let's consider what things we want to do with this area. So what we could consider doing is like an elevated hedgerow, but I'm not really sure how that'll look. It might look okay, it might look weird, or we could just put in hedges in general, which is what I think I might do. So let's go to our decorative menu. We'll go to the outside outdoor menu, and what we'll do is, well, we've got this little paddock down here. Let's go ahead and put in some trees down here. We don't have any red bonsai trees yet, so you know what? I think that's what I'm going to go with for now. We'll put one in right there, one in right there, one in right there, and one in right there. Now, in the interior, it might be nice to throw a couple of those shrubberies in like so. And then up here, let's consider for a moment dropping shrubberies in like so and creating a little pathway that lines up with all this. And we'll go like that. And then what we'll do is we'll corner right here. There we go, with a tree. Maybe, well, yeah, we'll go one right there too, just for the sake of the way that it'll be laid out. And I'm not really sure how much mud I have right now, so I should actually probably check on that too. 83 mud, not nearly as much mud as I thought I might have on hand, but I think they added some kind of algorithm that actually deletes mud over time. I'm not positive on that, so don't quote me just yet, but I have noticed my mud supplies dwindling. So I think something of that nature may have been added, but it's difficult to prove. It's difficult to get an indictment going on something like that. Hopefully, at some point, we will see them drop the wood into the location there in the top right of our tavern. I'd love to see the rest of this edging be put in place. And then I actually, God, I'm going to have to destroy this corner right here all the way down to the ground and this corner all the way down to the ground. So it looks like there's support pillars running up. Actually, I may do it... Egaz. I don't really know which way I'm going to do it. I may go down like so and down like so, but either way, I think it's going to look a little funky. So we'll worry about it when the time comes. I love the way the edging turned out on the turtleback, and I would really love to emulate that and get it to turn out in the fashion that I would like. The chances of that happening, though, are pretty slim. I kind of free-built that, and so I'm actually fairly amazed at any given time that it turned out any type of kind of cohesive anyways, or it came out in any type of explainable, normal sense. Let's continue burrowing down because we do owe our adventurers a little bit of dungeon down here, just a little bit of the dungeon. And so hopefully we don't mine out too much because I don't want to end up destroying my floor right here. And that floor goes out too, so that means I can probably get away with going like so. Just kind of surrounding. God, I don't even know what happened right there. I just lost my train of thought and developed an accent. Are accents contagious? Can you catch those like a disease over the course of like 12 seconds? I'm not really positive, but it just kind of happened, and I'm not really sure how. And so we are putting in, yeah, that's going to look nice. It's going to add a nice little block of color to this whole little area, and it actually goes with there's a cow on the roof. Cow, how did you get, he's bruised. Apparently he bruised himself, a wild cow, no joke. It's the kind of wild cow that puts all the other party cows to shame. He bruised himself getting up on the roof. Well, hopefully it heals and he'll hang out there. We'll name him Stanley. I've been watching a lot of The Office lately, and I enjoy The Office of both the UK and American variety, but for those of you who don't watch it, the last season is airing right now, and it's kind of depressing because it's a show that I've followed for most of my adult life. I assume it's the way people felt like when Cheers got canceled, for example, and I don't want to draw any unobvious conclusions there because there'll be some people who will refute and say, but Cheers is a classic. Well, I think once you've been on for 10 plus seasons, I think you qualify as a television classic. Now, before I lose my train of thought any further and start talking about The Office, which is why the cow is named Stanley, I've been watching that show a lot, and I've always thought the name Stanley was kind of humorous anyways. It's just one of those names that you just expect somebody named Stanley just to be in a bad mood all the time. I'd be in a terrible mood if my name was Stanley. If your name is Stanley, are you in a terrible mood? Answer down in the comments. Let me know if your mood is otherwise affected by the fact that your name is Stanley. There's no intonation here. I'm not trying to guilt trip you. I'm not trying to say anything offensive about Stanleys. Stanleys are my friends. Stanleys are indeed my homies, but you know, I'm just a little psychological experiment here. Just a little bit of empirical validation on the otherwise bullshit rantings that I do on a daily basis. Because honestly, I just pull this stuff out of my ass, guys. It really is. It's whoop, straight out the back. And you know what they say about ass. If you can't sell it, sit on it. So, let's see here. We'll add a few more personal rooms down here because I really could actually use some more housing for my townies. And we do need to start attracting some further immigrants, because one thing that I've kind of noticed, and these aren't spaced correctly, this is going to look weird. Crap. Well, I guess I will delete, we'll just leave them there. These will be temp house. This is temporary housing right there. This is the government-funded housing. This is kind of the projects region. This is kind of the region in which, the reason in which you live not by choice, but by necessity, until actual housing gets built, or you actually have money to live in a cool house. Now, why is no wood being transferred up here? Am I lacking the scaffoldings, perhaps? They did lay this down. Let's make sure. Let's make sure that we don't have any issues of that sort. Let's put in a new scaffolding right here. I don't really know what the game might be doing at the moment, but I've probably planned something out improperly, and it's punishing me right now. It's saying, Splattercat, this is your flagellation. Note, not your flatulation, your flagellation. The flatulations come later. That's after the burrito night here in Boo. But the flagellations for your iniquities, I will now refuse to work, and your townies will no longer place their blocks because I hate you and you've done something out of order. Now, normally this doesn't happen very much with this game, but sometimes it does get very belligerent. Let's place the rest. Ooh, did I missize these? I misallocated these. Damn. Okay, so let's pause the game, and we'll get all those out of the way. I don't necessarily. Oh, maybe it's because never mind. Hold on. Just a second. Okay, good. I I would swear that it was a 3x3 that you needed for these, and I was right. I just second-guessed myself like an idiot. And so we'll put those ones in right there, and we'll deal with it in a minute. We'll get the rest of these placed. Down it goes. And will that one fit? That one actually might not fit no matter what. So that one may actually just be a wall or like a permanent fixture. Maybe I'll put like a reading room, like some bookcases or something over in. Yeah, that'll look cool. We'll fill this space with some chairs and some tables and things. Kind of this back room area where after they get done adventuring and just punching our foes to death, they come back, relax, and hang out. We also need a bar, right? So let's get started with a bar here. They're going to have a log bar. I actually don't know what the best material. Let's see if we can find something that is actually bar-like. Now, none of these strike. I don't know if I would want a bar that had moss growing on it. It seems like it might not pass the health code inspection. At best, it might be able to manage a C, but you definitely would not be getting that coveted A. I don't really know what I should build the bar out of. Let's see here. Let's use this two-tone. Well, let's go with the logs. We'll go with the logs. The logs will work out fine. I like the way those look. Where did those go, actually? There they are. And so the bar is going to run. We're going to make a big old bar. We'll kind of leave a little gate right there. And then what we'll do is we'll go to there. And we'll put that right there. And that's going to put us, I suppose, actually, let's cancel that one. That one's not going to fit just right. We'll go one more out. There we go. And that'll be our bar. And then what we'll do is we'll put that in. Hopefully that will adhere to whatever surface you put it in. And this is going to be the little bar area. I don't know if I can place any decorations that'll actually make it look like a bar, but for those of you that follow my series, it's a bar. Let's just assume for the time being, it's a bar. So we'll go back down. God, what else is there to work on? I'm actually tapping myself out a little bit here. And what are they actually working on? I'm a little concerned. Let's run through the list here and see what people are doing. And it looks like she is sleeping. And sleep, 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 raw fish, pear pie, and it's probably going to be in my best interest in the next little bit to actually start assigning people jobs. It's something that I've neglected thus far, and I probably should do. I'm a little gun-shy, though. The last time I tried to assign my townies jobs, they all starved to death. And so it's a little nerve-wracking for me to kind of make that jump. You know what we could do, actually? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so let's see. We need to make a place for dwarves to live, because dwarves are, I think, the one hero that I've never managed to get. And so what we'll do is we'll come back in over here. And, yeah, we'll put a staircase in. I think that'll look cool. There we go. And we'll put a staircase in right there. And let's designate this as Tavern so that the floor doesn't look weird. There we go. And then we'll take the expander tool and we'll just expand this out as far as it'll go. Not to tempt fate too much, but I should probably cut this episode off pretty soon because I feel a crash on the breeze. The game has been crashing on me a lot. I mention this every single episode. You probably don't want to hear about it anymore. But, you know, I just really don't want the game to crash on me. So let's put that in right there. We will continue to expand this out this way. There we go. Once the bar is in place, we'll expand it even further. But for the time being, oh, it's going to get rid of my diggies right there. That's fine. We'll just dig down right here, and it'll work out okay. I'd like to get something kind of moving down towards the lower level, or at least the -2, so that we can have dwarvish housing, because dwarves, as you guys know, I've done a lot of Let's Plays now, and a lot of reviews on games with dwarves. I do like dwarves. I am a fan of dwarvish culture. They're pretty cool people. They are pretty awesome all around. And plus Tyrion Lannister, come on guys, the coolest dwarf of all. And honestly, I love what he has actually done for television. I mean, usually you see little people being relegated to roles that are like jesters and just like, you know, bullshit roles. I think that the actor, I forget his name right now, so you'll have to excuse me. I am absolutely no good with names. I forget his name, but he's done a lot, I think. And I think his contributions to acting and kind of cinematography and things like that, just as an actor, cinematography I guess is the wrong word there, but his contribution to kind of broadening the minds of Hollywood and kind of production, I think will more than likely work out for the best in the future. And so let's see here. Drop that in right there. And you'll have to forget, you noticed that I only mentioned that from reference of the TV show, which is incredible. A Game of Thrones on TV is amazing. Haven't gotten around to reading the books just yet because college does not leave, ironically, college, a place of learning, does not leave a whole lot of time for extra reading and extra activities. And so now that that's all filled in, I think this is probably a great spot to break off this episode. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the township of Boo, and I swear we will get this tavern done someday. It's kind of a large undertaking, but I think once it's finished off, it'll probably look amazing. So I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.